Ethan Brooks had always wanted to see another world. Since he was a boy, he dreamed about space, aliens, and strange new places. Now, standing on the surface of a planet that did not even have a name in any human language, he could hardly believe. He was really there. The sky was purple, with two suns shining at once, and the air tasted sweet and strange. Ethan was not the captain. He was just a technician. He fixed things and made sure the ship worked. Most of the time, people did not notice him, but he liked it that way. He liked to listen and watch, and he enjoyed learning about new machines and new ideas. The human ship, named the Odyssey, had landed in a large clearing. The crew was careful. They knew they were the first humans to visit this planet. The leader of the crew, Captain Mason, gave orders to set up a safe area and to wait for the aliens to come. No one wanted to make a mistake. Soon, a group of aliens arrived. They were tall and graceful, with smooth skin and pale colors blue, green, and purple. Their eyes were large and bright, and their voices were soft. The humans and the aliens greeted each other with careful words and polite gestures. There were many smiles, but also a lot of curiosity on both sides. Ethan watched the meeting from the side. He was holding a small scanner, checking for anything dangerous in the air. He was not very interested in politics or speeches. He just wanted to see the real life of the aliens. After the first meeting, the aliens invited the humans to join their festival. They said it was a special day, a time for peace and friendship. The humans agreed, hoping this would make a good start for their new relationship. The festival took place in a wide, open space. There were lights hanging from tall trees, and strange music played from instruments Ethan had never seen. Alien families gathered wearing bright clothes. Some danced, some sang, and others shared food and stories. Ethan walked around, amazed by everything he saw. He tasted a sweet fruit that made his tongue tingle. He watched the alien children run and laugh. He saw a group of young women making patterns in the sand with their fingers. He smiled, enjoying the moment. Then something caught his eye. A group of aliens was forming a circle in the middle of the festival. People were laughing and calling out. It looked like some kind of game. Ethan was curious, so he walked closer. One of the aliens, a woman with blue skin and green eyes, waved at him. She spoke, and her words were translated by a small device. On Ethan's collar, "Would you like to join us?" she asked. Ethan hesitated. He did not know the rules. But the crowd was cheering, and he did not want to be rude. He nodded and stepped into the circle. The alien woman handed him a smooth stone, and then the game began. Ethan had to follow the others, copying their movements and actions. Sometimes they danced, sometimes they jumped, and sometimes they threw the stone to each other. The crowd laughed and clapped as people made mistakes. Ethan tried his best, but he was not sure if he was winning or losing. Then the rules changed. The aliens started doing strange movements, whirling, spinning, making shapes with their arms. Ethan copied them, even though he felt a little silly. The alien woman smiled at him, and others cheered when he managed to keep up. After a while, one by one, the other players made a wrong move and had to leave the circle. Only Ethan and the alien woman were left. The crowd grew quiet, watching them closely. Ethan felt nervous, but he kept moving. The last part of the game was a race, spinning in place and then running to touch a shining crystal at the center of the field. Ethan lost his balance, stumbled forward, and almost fell, but somehow he reached out and grabbed the crystal first. The crowd erupted in cheers. The alien woman laughed and bowed to him. Ethan stood there, breathless and confused. Holding the crystal. Suddenly the music stopped. The alien leaders stepped forward. One of them spoke in a deep voice. The translator whispered in Ethan's ear. "You have won the sacred challenge," the voice said. "You are the champion." Ethan looked around, not sure what he had done. The other humans clapped and smiled. Thinking it was all just a friendly game, the alien leaders spoke again, their faces serious but kind. "By our tradition, the winner of the festival must serve and assist all the honored women of our families. It is a great responsibility and a great honor." Ethan's mouth dropped open. He did not understand what this meant. He looked at Captain Mason, who just shrugged and smiled, thinking it was all a simple ritual, but the aliens were not joking. They brought Ethan forward, and everyone bowed to him. The young alien woman who played with him smiled and touched his shoulder gently. "You will learn our ways," she said. "Do not be afraid." The festival continued, but now Ethan was the center of attention. Everywhere he went, alien women greeted him, some with shy smiles, others with friendly laughter. Ethan felt lost, but also excited. He had come to see another world. Now it seemed he was part of it. As the suns began to set, the festival lights glowed brighter. Ethan stood among his new friends, unsure of what the future would bring. He did not know the rules of this new life, but he was ready to try. Ethan woke up the next morning feeling strange. He remembered the night before, the sounds of music and laughter, the taste of sweet fruit, and the moment everyone called him the champion. He thought it was a dream at first, but when he opened his eyes, he was in a round room with soft walls and gentle blue light. The bed was very comfortable, and the air smelled clean. He sat up and tried to remember everything. He had won some kind of game, but it was not just a game to the aliens. They seemed to take it very seriously. He wondered what it really meant. To serve and assist all the honored women. Ethan was nervous. He was not sure what the aliens expected from him. A soft chime sounded at the door. Ethan stood up quickly. The door slid open without a sound, and a tall alien woman stepped inside. She had pale green skin and long, silver hair. She was dressed in light blue robes. Her face was calm and kind. "Good morning, Ethan," she said. Her voice was clear, and Ethan's translation device repeated her words in English. "My name is Lyra. I am here to help you." Ethan nodded, trying to look calm. "Thank you," he said. "Where am I?" Lyra smiled. "You are in the guest house. This is a special place for honored visitors. You are safe here." Ethan was relieved. "So, what happens now?" he asked. Lyra looked at him gently. "First, you will learn about our people. There is much to understand. You will also meet the council. They are waiting to greet you." Ethan followed Lyra through quiet halls filled with soft light. The building was beautiful and peaceful. The windows showed views of tall, blue trees and open gardens. Alien children played outside, and birds with shining wings flew in the air. As they walked, Lyra explained some of their customs. She told Ethan that their people lived in harmony with nature. They respected life and valued kindness above all else. She also told him that their traditions were very old. The festival, she explained, was an ancient test of skill, patience, and respect. Ethan listened carefully. He liked hearing about their world. He wished he could take notes, but he did not want to seem rude. Finally, they reached a large room with tall windows and smooth, round walls. The council was waiting. There were 6 members, 3 women and 3 men, all dressed in bright robes. They smiled as Ethan entered. Lyra introduced him, and each council member gave a gentle bow. The leader, an older woman with deep blue skin and silver eyes, spoke first. "Welcome, Ethan Brooks. Last night you honored us with your spirit. You followed our ways and you became the champion." Ethan bowed his head. "Thank you," he said, "but I did not know the rules. I was just trying to join in." The council members laughed softly. The leader nodded. "Sometimes not knowing is the best way to show respect. You did not try to win, but you gave your best. That is what matters most." Another council member, a woman with green eyes, spoke next. "The ritual you won is very important. In the past, it helped our people choose guides and helpers for our families. The winner is trusted to assist and support the women of our community. It is not just about strength. It is about heart and wisdom." Ethan felt nervous again. "I will try my best," he said. The council members nodded. The leader smiled kindly. "You will not be alone. Lyra and Mara will guide you. They will show you our ways and help you learn." After the meeting, Lyra led Ethan out into the garden. The sun was warm and the air was fresh. Mara was waiting for them. She was younger than Lyra, with soft purple skin and bright yellow eyes. She greeted Ethan with a wide smile. "Welcome, Ethan. I am Mara," she said. I will help you learn our language and customs. Do not worry. I am a good teacher. Ethan liked Mara at once. She was friendly and cheerful. She asked him questions about Earth, about humans, and about the things he liked. Ethan tried to answer, sometimes making her laugh with his stories. They spent the day together. Mara taught Ethan a few simple words in her language. He learned how to greet people, how to say thank you, and how to ask for help. She also showed him how to eat the local food, which was very different from anything he had tasted before. Some dishes were sweet, some were spicy, and some made his mouth feel cool and light. Lyra joined them for lunch. She talked about the responsibilities Ethan now had. Many women will ask for your help. Sometimes it will be simple, like carrying something heavy or helping in the garden. Other times it may be more important. They will trust you to listen and to care. Ethan nodded. He did not want to disappoint anyone. Later that day, Lyra and Mara took Ethan to meet some of the honored women in the community. Some were older, with wise eyes and gentle hands. Some were young, curious, and shy. They all seemed happy to meet Ethan. They told him stories about their families, their work, and their dreams. Some gave him small gifts, a flower, a carved stone, a piece of sweet fruit. Ethan felt a little overwhelmed, but also happy. He had never been this important to so many people before. The women treated him with respect, and he wanted to be worthy of their trust. As the sun set, Lyra and Mara walked with Ethan back to the guest house. They talked about the future and what Ethan could do to help. Mara told him that he was not just a visitor now. He was a part of their lives. That night, Ethan sat in his room thinking about everything that had happened. He missed his home, but he was excited too. He wondered what the next day would bring. Ethan knew he still had much to learn, but he was ready to try. He was not just an outsider anymore. He was a part of something new and important, and that made him feel brave. The next morning, Ethan woke to the soft sound of singing outside his window. He opened his eyes and listened. The voices were beautiful and calm, filling the air with peace. For a moment, he forgot he was far away from Earth. It felt like a dream, but he knew it was real. Ethan dressed in the simple clothes the aliens had given him. The fabric was smooth and light, perfect for the warm air. He stepped outside and saw Mara waiting for him in the garden. She smiled and waved. "Good morning, Ethan," she said. "Did you sleep well?" Ethan nodded. "Yes, thank you." "I heard singing. It was nice." Mara explained that the singing was part of a daily morning ritual. The women of the community sang to greet the sun and bring good luck for the day. She said Ethan was welcome to join if he wanted. He shook his head, feeling a bit shy, but he watched and listened as they finished the song. After breakfast, Mara took Ethan to meet more people in the village. Many of the women were already busy with their work. Some worked in the gardens, planting bright flowers and picking fruit. Others cared for children, teaching them how to speak and count. Some were artists, making beautiful patterns on cloth or painting pictures of the world around them. Mara introduced Ethan to everyone. Some women giggled when they met him, whispering to each other. Others were curious and asked many questions about Earth and about human life. One woman, older than the rest, asked him about his family. Ethan told her about his mother and father and how much he missed them. She patted his hand and told him that now he had a family here, too. Later, Lyra joined Ethan and Mara. Lyra wanted Ethan to help her in the garden. She showed him how to dig the soil and plant new seeds. The work was harder than Ethan expected, but he enjoyed being outside. The sunlight was warm and the garden smelled sweet. As they worked, Lyra talked to Ethan about trust. She said that helping others was very important to her people. Each person, young or old, helped everyone else. That was how their community stayed strong. Ethan liked this idea. He remembered how his parents had always told him to help his neighbors and be kind. After the garden work, Ethan and Lyra carried baskets of fruit to the meeting hall. Inside, a group of women sat in a circle. They were making plans for the next festival. When Ethan entered, the women welcomed him with bright smiles. They asked him to taste some new dishes they were preparing. Some of the food was strange, but Ethan tried everything. He wanted to be polite and to show he respected their culture. One young woman named Sari was especially friendly. She had light blue skin and short dark hair. Sari asked Ethan about his favorite things to eat on Earth. He told her about apple pie and peanut butter sandwiches. The women laughed and promised to make something like it for him one day. Later, Lyra took Ethan to see a small classroom where young girls were learning. The girls were excited to meet Ethan. They asked him to say words in his language and laughed when he tried to say words in theirs. One little girl gave Ethan a bracelet made of colored beads. Ethan thanked her, feeling touched by the kindness. As the day went on, Ethan noticed that everywhere he went, people smiled at him. Some greeted him by name. Others waved as he passed. He felt welcome and wanted. It was a new feeling for him. On Earth, he was quiet and often alone. Here, he was surrounded by friends, but not everyone was happy. In the afternoon, Ethan saw a group of young alien men watching him from a distance. They did not smile or wave. One of them, taller and stronger than the others, stared at Ethan with cold eyes. Mara noticed too. "Do not worry," Mara whispered to Ethan. "Some people are slow to trust outsiders." "It will get better," Ethan nodded, but he felt a little uneasy. He did not want to cause trouble. He wanted to be a good guest. That evening, Lyra and Mara invited Ethan to dinner at their home. The house was simple but warm, filled with soft lights and the smell of sweet bread. They talked about their day and shared stories about their lives. Lyra told Ethan about the first time she visited another world. Mara told funny stories about her childhood. Ethan laughed and felt at home. After dinner, Lyra gave Ethan a book. The pages were thin and filled with pictures. She said the book would help him learn more about their world and their language. Ethan thanked her. He promised to read it every night. Before bed, Ethan went outside and looked up at the sky. The two suns had set, and the sky was filled with bright stars. He wondered if anyone on Earth could see this sky. He felt small, but he also felt proud. He was doing something important, something special. As he got ready for bed, Ethan thought about the day. He had made new friends, learned new things, and started to feel like he belonged. There were still some people who did not trust him, but he hoped that would change. He wanted to help. He wanted to show everyone that humans could be good and kind. Ethan lay down and closed his eyes. He was tired but happy. He knew tomorrow would bring more challenges and more chances to grow. He was ready to keep learning, to keep helping, and to become a real part of this new world. Ethan woke up early and felt a new energy in his body. He dressed quickly and went outside. The air was cool and fresh. He looked around and saw people already working in the gardens and fields. Everyone seemed busy but happy. He wanted to be helpful and make a good start to the day. Mara was waiting for him near the meeting hall. She smiled when she saw him. Mara handed Ethan a small basket. She explained that today he would help collect special flowers for a celebration. The flowers were bright purple and grew near the river. They walked together through the tall grass. Mara talked about the celebration. She said it was a day to remember new beginnings and to thank everyone who helped the community. Ethan listened closely. He liked the idea of a day for kindness and thanks. When they reached the river, other women were already picking flowers. Sari was there, laughing and singing as she filled her basket. She waved at Ethan and called him to help. Ethan bent down and started picking the soft, sweet-smelling flowers. The work was peaceful. He enjoyed the simple job and the company of his friends. After some time, Mara told Ethan a story about her childhood. She said she used to come to the river with her mother. Her mother taught her how to tell which flowers were ready to pick. Mara smiled and showed Ethan how to choose the best ones. Ethan liked learning these new things. He wished he could tell his family about all he was doing while they were working. Ethan noticed a group of young men standing on the other side of the river. They were watching the group and whispering. One of them was the tall man Ethan had seen before. His name was Yarek. Yarek did not smile or wave. He only watched, his eyes cold and sharp. Sari noticed too. She leaned closer to Ethan and spoke quietly. She said that some men did not like the old festival tradition. They thought only an alien could win the challenge, not a human. Ethan felt a little worried. He did not want to make enemies. Mara saw Ethan's face and touched his arm. Gently, she said it would take time for everyone to trust him. She told Ethan to keep showing kindness and patience. She promised most people would see his good heart soon. The group finished collecting flowers and walked back to the village. On the way, they talked and laughed, carrying their baskets. Ethan felt better. The women treated him as a true friend, and he felt proud to help. When they returned, everyone started preparing for the celebration. The whole village was busy. People hung bright cloths between the trees. Others arranged tables and chairs. Mara showed Ethan how to tie the purple flowers into long chains. They wrapped the chains around doors and windows. The village looked beautiful. In the afternoon, Lyra asked Ethan to help in the kitchen. He learned how to cook simple alien dishes. Some foods needed to be crushed and mixed, others had to be cooked over hot stones. Lyra and the other women laughed when Ethan made mistakes, but they always helped him. He did not mind. He liked learning and he liked working together. As the sun began to set, the celebration started. People gathered in the center of the village. Music played and everyone began to sing and dance. Ethan watched and clapped along. Sorry pulled him into a dance. At first, Ethan felt awkward, but soon he was laughing with everyone else. Suddenly, Yarek and a few young men came forward. Yarek called for silence. He spoke loudly, saying it was not right for a human to win the sacred challenge. He said tradition should be respected and that outsiders should not have such a special place. The crowd grew quiet. Some people looked worried. Mara and Lyra stood beside Ethan. Mara squeezed his hand and whispered for him to be brave. Ethan did not know what to do. He felt everyone's eyes on him. He remembered what Mara had told him about patience and kindness. He stepped forward and spoke, his voice soft but steady. He said he did not want to take anyone's place or break any rules. He said he only wanted to help and to learn. He asked the people to give him a chance. An older woman stepped out of the crowd. Her name was Myra, and she was respected by everyone. She said that the true meaning of the festival was to welcome new friends and to test the heart, not just strength or skill. She said Ethan had shown courage and kindness since he arrived. Many people nodded and agreed. Yarek looked angry, but he did not argue. He walked away with his friends. The music began again, and the crowd slowly relaxed. Mara hugged Ethan and said he had done well. Lyra smiled and thanked him for being brave. The celebration continued. People danced and ate together. The women Ethan had helped all day came to thank him. Sari gave him a necklace made from the purple flowers. She said it was a gift for someone who brought good luck. Ethan felt happy and proud. As night came, Ethan sat with Mara and Lyra near a small fire. They talked about the day and about the challenge with Hirek. Lyra said some people needed more time to accept change. Mara said Ethan had shown everyone the best part of being human. Ethan looked up at the stars and felt hope. He knew it would not always be easy, but he was not alone. He had friends who believed in him and he wanted to keep helping. He promised himself he would do his best every day. Before he went to bed, Ethan walked through the quiet village. The flowers glowed softly in the moonlight. He smiled and knew he was becoming a real part of this new world. Ethan woke up with a smile. He remembered the celebration from the night before. He still wore the purple flower necklace Sari gave him. He touched the flowers and thought about how lucky he was to have such kind friends. He wanted to show them that he was thankful. The village was quiet in the early morning. Ethan walked to the kitchen where Lyra and Mara were already awake. They greeted him with warm smiles. Mara handed him a warm drink that tasted sweet and made him feel awake. Today, Mara said they would visit another part of the village. Some women there wanted to meet Ethan and ask for his help. Lyra explained that news about him had spread to every family. Now, many people wanted to know him better. Ethan felt nervous again, but Mara put her hand on his shoulder and said he would do fine. She reminded him to be himself and to listen carefully when someone spoke to him. Lyra said helping others was the best way to earn trust. They left the guest house together, walking through fields where young children played. Some children ran to Ethan and held his hand. One gave him a drawing of a human and an alien smiling together. Ethan thanked her and smiled. He promised to keep the picture safe. The other side of the village was busier and louder. There were workshops where women made tools, clothes, and art. Mara took Ethan to meet Hannah, a woman who was fixing a machine. Hannah had short green hair and sharp eyes. She asked Ethan if he could help her lift a heavy piece of metal. Ethan said yes, and together they moved the metal into place. Hannah thanked him and explained how the machine worked. Ethan listened and asked questions. He liked learning about new technology. Hannah seemed happy that Ethan was interested. After helping Hannah, Ethan visited other workshops. One woman, Ellen, asked him to help carry water from a well. Ellen was older and walked slowly. Ethan filled the buckets and carried them for her. Ellen smiled and said it was nice to have someone strong and kind in the village. Later, a group of young women invited Ethan to join them in painting a large wall. They wanted to make a picture that showed peace between humans and aliens. Ethan picked up a brush and tried to copy the patterns the others made. He was not very good, but the women laughed and said his effort was what mattered most. Mara and Lyra watched from nearby. They were happy to see Ethan working hard and making friends. Mara told Lyra that she was proud of Ethan. Lyra agreed and said that Ethan was special because he always tried his best. In the afternoon, there was a meeting in the main hall. The council wanted to talk about the future. They invited Ethan to join them. The hall was full of people. Many women looked at Ethan with smiles and hope in their eyes. The council leader spoke first. She said their world was changing. Now that humans had arrived, there were new things to learn and new ways to live. She asked Ethan what he thought about living in their world. Ethan stood up and spoke slowly. He said he was very happy to be there. He said the kindness of the village made him feel welcome. He promised to keep learning and helping. He said he wanted humans and aliens to work together as true friends. The crowd clapped and cheered. Some women stood and told their own stories about Ethan's help. Hannah said he was a good worker. Ellen said he was strong and gentle. Sorry, said Ethan, made everyone laugh. The council was pleased to hear these things. Then Myra, the respected older woman, stood up. She said that trust and friendship must be built every day. She thanked Ethan for his patience and his good heart. She asked the village to accept Ethan as one of their own. Many people nodded and agreed. After the meeting, Sari came to Ethan and gave him a small gift. It was a stone with a symbol of peace carved into it. She said it would bring him luck and remind him of his promise. Later, Ethan joined Mara and Lyra at a quiet spot near the river. They talked about the meeting and what it meant. Lyra said Ethan had shown everyone that a human could be trusted. Mara said the village was changing, and Ethan was part of that change. As the sun set, Ethan walked with Mara along the river. They talked about their dreams for the future. Mara said she hoped one day to visit Earth. Ethan laughed and said he would show her all the best places if she did. Before bed, Ethan sat outside and watched the stars. He thought about how much his life had changed. He was no longer just a visitor. He was a friend and a helper. He was a part of something bigger than himself. He thought about the challenges he faced and the people who did not trust him at first. He understood now that trust must be earned, not given. He was proud of what he had done, but he knew there was still more to do. He lay down to sleep. Ethan promised himself to keep trying, to keep helping, and to always show kindness. He hoped that humans and aliens would learn from each other and build a new future together. The village was quiet, but Ethan's heart was full. He felt at home, and he knew that tomorrow would bring even more chances to grow and to help. Ethan woke up to the sound of rain tapping gently on his window. The air was cool and fresh, and the smell of wet earth filled the room. He felt peaceful and happy. It had been many days since he first came to the village, and he could hardly believe how much his life had changed. He dressed quickly and went outside. The rain was soft, and children played in puddles, laughing and splashing each other. Ethan smiled at them. He remembered playing in the rain when he was a boy on Earth. The memory made him feel close to home and not so far away. Mara was waiting for him near the kitchen. She wore a hood to keep dry, and she carried a basket of warm bread. She handed him a piece, and they shared breakfast under the shelter of a big tree. Mara told Ethan that today was a special day. The council would meet to talk about the future of the village and how humans and aliens could work together. After breakfast, Lyra arrived. She said that many women had asked for Ethan's help again, but first, the council wanted him to speak at the meeting. Ethan felt nervous, but Mara put her hand on his arm and told him to speak from the heart, like he always did. They walked together to the big meeting hall. The rain had stopped and people were gathering inside. The hall was filled with bright colors, flowers, and the sweet smell of bread and fruit. The council members sat at the front, and people from the village filled every seat. Some people Ethan had never met before were there, and even some of the young men who once doubted him had come. The council leader stood up and welcomed everyone. She talked about the changes in the village, about the new ideas and the new hope that had come since the humans arrived. She said the festival, the games, and the hard work had brought everyone together. Then she called Ethan to stand at the front. Ethan took a deep breath and faced the crowd. He spoke slowly and clearly. He thanked everyone for their kindness and said how much he had learned. He said he had come as a stranger but now felt like part of the family. He promised to keep helping, to keep learning, and to always show respect. Ethan talked about his dream for the future. He wanted humans and aliens to share knowledge and ideas. He wanted both worlds to grow together. He said he was proud to serve and help the honored women of the village, and he hoped that others would join him in building trust and friendship. When he finished, the hall was quiet. Then Myra stood up. She said Ethan had shown true courage and heart. She said the village was better because of him. Others began to stand and speak. Hannah said Ethan helped her fix the machine and never gave up. Ellen said Ethan made her feel young again. Sari said Ethan was always kind and patient. Even Yurek, the young man who once doubted Ethan, stood and said he had watched Ethan and now respected him. The council leader smiled and said it was time for change. She said the old tradition had always been about finding those with the best heart, not just the strongest. She asked the village if they wanted Ethan to stay as a guide and helper. Everyone shouted yes, and the hall filled with applause. After the meeting, people crowded around Ethan. Women thanked him, children hugged him, and men shook his hand. Ethan felt proud but also humble. He knew he could not have done it alone. Mara and Lyra had helped him every day, teaching him and giving him courage. Mara took Ethan outside and showed him a special garden near the river. She said the village wanted to plant new trees there, one for each new friendship between humans and aliens. Mara gave Ethan a small tree with blue leaves. Together they planted it in the soft earth. Lyra joined them, and the three friends worked together, smiling and laughing. As they finished, the sun broke through the clouds. The blue leaves of the tree sparkled in the light. Ethan felt a sense of hope and happiness. He realized he had helped start something new and good, not just for himself, but for everyone. In the days that followed, life in the village was full of excitement. More people came to visit. Humans and aliens worked side by side in the fields and kitchens. Children played together, learning each other's games and words. Mara and Lyra taught Ethan new skills, and he shared stories about Earth. The women of the village became his teachers and friends. And Ethan tried to help in every way he could. He saw that the people who once doubted him were changing too. Yurek invited Ethan to help with building a new shelter. Other young men asked Ethan to show them how human tools worked. Some even asked Ethan to join in their games and songs. One night there was another celebration. This time it was not just for the old tradition, but for the new friendships and the bright future. People sang and danced, and the village was full of light. Ethan danced with Mara and Lyra. Sari gave him a new flower chain, and even Yurek smiled and joined the fun. At the end of the night, Ethan stood by the river and looked at the stars. He thought about how much he had changed. He remembered his first day, how lost and nervous he felt. Now he felt strong and loved. He knew he had a place here. He was not just a visitor anymore. He was home. As the stars shone above, Ethan made a promise. He would keep helping and learning. He would do his best to bring hope and kindness wherever he went. He would be a true friend, not just to the women who trusted him, but to everyone in this new world. Ethan smiled, knowing that his adventure was just beginning. With Mara, Lyra, Sari, and the whole village, anything was possible. The future was bright, and Ethan was ready for whatever came next.